the Depression of the 1930s, many Marion citizens were forced to leave the area in search of jobs so they could feed their families. That fact, coupled with a loss of income and savings by many when banks closed, forced a number of families out of their homes. This culminated in over 400 Marion homes being demolished or moved, and many more vacated. In 1939, Marion got the word that it would be the location of the new Veterans Administration Hospital, and the local economy began to move again. In 1941, a ribbon-cutting ceremony was held to open the VA hospital, and the same year it was announced that the Illinois Ordnance Plant, known as Ordale, would be built right in our backyard, creating thousands of jobs. In fact, at its peak production, there were 10,000 people employed. With 2 large projects and loads of transient workers, housing would be needed. In 1941, Ralph Thurman, son of E.M. Thurman, conceived the idea of a motel to meet Marion's need for improved transient housing. He built a 16-unit motel facing the Veterans Hospital grounds. 6 years later, he added another 16 units and a dining room, which was then outstanding in southern Illinois, and a little later added 18 more units to the motel, making a total of 50 units, which were filled a large portion of the time. The motel on the west outskirts of town was called Thurman's Motel Marion. To construct his new motel, Ralph had employed an architect by the name of Walter Hubbard, who had a son that went by the same name. When the job was concluded, the architect's son remained behind to live with the Thurmans, who had no children of their own, and he was absorbed into the family as Walter Wally Thurman. The motel in its day was a masterstroke, with a swimming pool for guests, offering of fine dining and entertainment by bands. Many a Marion family went to the Motel Marion dining room for Sunday dinners or entertainment on weekend evenings. Postcards touted the motel, calling it the Country Club of Highway Motels, just off Interstate 57. In 1957, Ralph retired from the Marion Motel management, turning it over to Wally to manage and operate. Ralph Thurman died 2 years later of a heart attack on April 13, 1959. The motel was sold to Jack and Linda Ritchie around 1978. The couple operated the business for decades. The motel has deteriorated considerably in recent years, but has continued to serve as a mecca for transients, just as it was intended when it was built over 70 years ago. Its sale to the city of Marion and resale to a developer will give the land a new purpose, but many will remember the motel's heyday for years to come. As always, we owe a debt of gratitude to Sam Latuka and the Marion, Illinois Historic Preservation website for this Turning Back Time, and to the Arcadia Wealth Group for their sponsorship. Reporting for the Marion Star Live, I'm Bill Swinford.